Hi guys, how are you? So as you all know, last week we've been working on the figurative language because we will be starting with a bit of poetry. So today I'll be explaining what poetry is and all the forms, or not actually all the forms, some forms of poetries. So what is poetry? It's a type of literature that expresses ideas, feelings, or tells a story in a specific form. So it's just an expression of ideas or feelings, or could even tell a story in a specific form. What makes a poem? There's the line. It's a unit of meaning. It could be one word, a phrase, or even a sentence. What is a stanza? Lines that are grouped together. Usually each has the same number of lines. So what makes up a poem is a line and a stanza. So a stanza resembles a paragraph in an essay. Next, we have the speaker. The speaker is the teller of the poem. So it's like the narrator of a story. The tone is the poet's word choice that indicates his attitude. The poet's tone is often described by adjectives: positive, angry, grateful, etc. So, what is the tone? It's the word choice that the poet uses. From this choice of words, we can decide on the poet's attitude, or how does he feel about the whole subject. The mood, it's how the poet makes the readers feel. So the mood is related to us as readers. Whenever we read a poem, what mood does the poem give us? Does it give us a sympathetic mood, a happy mood, or a sad mood, etc.? Theme is the message or letter the poet is trying to express or pass on to the readers. So, what is the purpose of writing this poem? There is a message behind it. We have to figure it out, which is called the theme. This is an example of a poem. As you can see, this is a line, and those four lines make up a stanza. All right, so we have one, two, three stanzas, and each stanza is made up of one, two, three, four lines. Moving on to the types of poems. First of all, we have the free verse. What is a free verse? It's written without rhyme or rhythm. It's very conversational, sounds like someone talking with you. Some do not use punctuation or capitalization or other ways of breaking the rules of grammar. It's a modern type of poetry. It uses the senses in writing. So a free verse looks like this one. A pancake, as you can see, it's a free verse because it does not have a specific number of stanzas or even lines in a stanza. There's no rhyming words. It doesn't have a rhythm. Now, moving on to a traditional poem. What is a traditional poem? It follows fixed rules such as a specific number of lines, has a regular pattern or rhyme or rhythm. So, unlike the free verse, a traditional poem has a rhyme or a rhythm. Let's have a look at this example. This is a traditional poem. As you can see, we have a specific number of stanzas, three stanzas. Each stanza makes up a four lines. And if we look at the ending of each line, we have night and light, which rhyme together, way and day, and so continues the rest of the poem. So this poem basically is a traditional poem because it follows a specific pattern with the stanzas and the rhyming words. Next, we have the couplet. What is a couplet? It's a unit of a verse consisting only of two lines that usually rhyme. It could be humorous or serious. Okay, just like this example, chocolate candy is sweet and yummy. It goes down smoothly in my tummy. So, two lines and rhyming words at the end. After that, we have the limericks. What is a limericks? It's a funny or silly poem with five lines. It's meant to be humorous. Lines 1, 2, and 5 rhyme with each other. Lines 3 and 4 rhyme with each other. The rhyme scheme, which we will be learning about later on, is AABBA. So this is an example here. There was a young man of Bengal who was asked to a fancy dress ball. He murmured, "I'll risk it. I'll go as a biscuit." But the dog ate him up in the hall. So hall, ball, and Bengal rhyme together, and it and biscuit rhyme together. Acrostic poetry. What is an acrostic poetry? It's the first letters of each line form a word or a message relating to the subject. The letters of the subject written vertically. Each line begins with a word or phrase that starts with that letter. It does not have to rhyme. It's simple based upon one word. So, for example, the title of this poem is Music. They use the word music and the letters. They start each line with the first letter. For example, M is my head is full of rhythm. U until I can barely sit still. The S in music makes see me move to the beat. The I makes it does the same for others. Can you feel the magic of music? So basically we have the first letters of each line that make up the word music, and the whole poem is also about music. Next we have the quatrain, has 4 lines with a rhyming pattern. As you can see, this is the rhyming pattern, one of the most common forms of poetry. This is an example of a quatrain. As you can see, it has 4 lines and the words, the end words rhyme together. Moving on to the haikus, it has a line, it's a poem made of 3 lines consisting of 17 syllables, and usually it is typically expressing a single thought, a feeling, or idea. It's an ancient Japanese form of poetry and usually has nature themes. So basically, haikus focus on nature. This is an example of a haiku. So as you can see, raindrops and warm, all related to nature. What is a lyric poem? It's a short poem in which a single speaker expresses personal thoughts and feelings. It covers many subjects from love and death to everyday experiences. Like many other lyric poems, each creates a strong, unified impression. So, a lyric poem basically expresses personal thoughts and feelings. Unlike a narrative poem is a form of poetry that tells a story, often making the voices of a narrator and characters as well. It may be short or long, and the story it relates to may be simple or complex. So, a narrative poem is basically telling a story, and that's all for our introduction to poetry. I'll see you later in another tutorial.